two things. This is just paying bills. That's minor. This is an ordinance to give pieces of property to many people. So honestly, nothing. So I think people. This is the special agenda. And if you scroll, you get more detail. That's habitat, and then these are literally like every. So this is literally like a paycheck run. Yeah, that's what I used to do with accounts payable. But they have to actually vote on it. They're not going with a paycheck though. That's they added the level. Yeah. Over at that table that calls this stuff. You can. You'll consume more data. But I will send it to my sister as a recommended watch.
The council doesn't move ahead with this.
Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amy, could you read the open public meeting statement?
Adequate notice of this special meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Roxbury was given as required by the Open Public Meetings Act as follows. On December 18, 2025, notice was published in the Daily Record. On December 26, 2025, notice was emailed and faxed to the Daily Record, North Star Ledger, and West Morris Reporter. Notice should also be posted on the Township website and the bulletin board in the main hallway of the municipal building.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilwoman Albright.
Here.
Councilman Carey.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Crowley.
Here.
Councilman DiFilippo.
Here.
Councilman Hall.
Here.
Councilman Riley.
Here.
Mayor Patillo.
Here. Bring us to item 4, hearing and adoption of ordinance on second reading, 19-25. An ordinance authorizing the conveyance of township-owned real property to Morris Habitat for Humanity, Inc. We have a motion to open to the public.
I'll open that to the public, and I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anybody in the public wish to be heard on this ordinance and this ordinance alone? Please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
Hi, good evening. Amalia Duarte, 22 Brockton Drive, Mendham Township. So not a resident of Roxbury, but I do come up here a lot for shopping purposes and funworkers. Anyway, I did want to comment on the ordinance because I actually wanted to congratulate you. You are adding to your affordable housing, although I'd like to call it housing that's affordable, for people who want to move into our communities here in Morris County. Habitat for Humanity is a fantastic partner. They've built hundreds and around the world, thousands, tens of thousands of units for people who are looking for housing. So I know you've worked with them in the past. You've even had students get involved with projects. So I really wanted to commend you for this conveyance and for continuing to work in compliance with the state program. It's not easy. I've been there with Mendham Township. You struggle, you try to find appropriate locations, you work with your professionals, your attorneys, etc. But no, really, it's quite commendable that you're able to continue and add to your affordable housing. I also think it sends a very strong and positive message about your community, and that you're welcoming. You're a welcoming community for a diverse set of people, people from different backgrounds, people who it's going to offer them an opportunity to move to Roxbury who perhaps otherwise couldn't. So I wanted to just say that and congratulate you.
Thank you. Does anybody else in the public? Does anyone else in the public wish to be heard on this ordinance? A motion to adopt? Oh, sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adopt?
So moved. Second.
Amy, roll call?
Councilwoman Albrecht.
Yes.
Councilman Carey.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Crowley.
Yes.
Councilman DiFilippo.
Yes.
Councilman Hall.
Yes.
Councilman Riley.
Yes.
Mayor Patillo.
Yes. Item 5, introduction and adoption of resolutions.
I move on 2045-346.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Councilwoman Albrecht.
Yes.
Councilman Carey.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Crowley.
Yes.
Councilman DiFilippo.
Yes.
Councilman Hall.
Yes.
Councilman Riley.
Yes.
Mayor Patillo.
Yes. This brings us to item 6, our public portion for the night. Before we open to the public, I'd like to read a statement. To the best of this council's knowledge, no officials in the Township of Roxbury have been contacted by the federal government, nor do we have any information from them at this time regarding the validity of the Washington Post's report. The article itself characterizes its source as a draft and subject to change. No plans have been presented to the township and no discussions were held between Roxbury officials and DHS or ICE. Upon learning of this information through the media, we immediately reached out to our county, state, and federal representatives. They likewise became aware of this matter through the media reports, and at this time do not have any additional information either. As we continue to work with our representatives to determine how Roxbury appeared on this list, we are committed to keeping our residents fully informed and will provide clear and transparent updates as information becomes available. We also remain fully committed to the safety of our residents, and your protection will continue to be, as it always has been, a top priority for this council. I'd like to ask anybody who wishes to come up and address the council to please maintain the 3-minute rule. We will be keeping a time. So at this point in time, does anyone in the audience wish to be heard on any topic at all? Please come up to the mic, state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Shelley Morningstar. I live at 70 Oakwood Village in Flanders, and I'm a neighbor of Roxbury by about less than a quarter of a mile. I too spend a lot of time shopping here. I appreciate the opportunity to open the public portion, and thank you, Mayor, for your statement earlier. When I too, as I imagine most of us here tonight, read about the Washington Post article with a town here in Morris County, a neighboring town of Mount Olive, Roxbury mentioned as a potential site to warehouse human beings, it raised every hair on the back of my neck. To keep with the 3 minutes of conversation, and I know there are others here, I would like to just point out, many of us do shop in Roxbury that live around this area. In 2024, the New Jersey Policy Perspective, along with the Hispanic State of New Jersey, Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, found that immigrants make up 22% of the state's population and own 47% of Main Street businesses. Advocates who, for immigrants looking to open businesses are often steered away from that because of racism and barriers, language barriers that can keep them out of other professional job markets. I know for a fact here in Roxbury that you have many immigrant businesses and businesses that are owned by immigrants. And it's important that we continue to see that your community supports all of the people who live here. It is viewed as a welcoming community. And I encourage you to keep your commitment to transparency and to have no ICE federal warehouse in this township. Thank you.
Good evening. Jennifer Marchese, 578 US Highway 46, Apartment E in Kenville, 07847. I am morally opposed to some of the actions that are happening with ICE. However, I am not here to challenge you guys right now because I know all this information is new. I'm here to pose 3 questions that I do not need an answer to tonight. I just need to know that you're thinking about them. First of all, my first question is, can the federal government force this upon us without our consent? That is my first question. I don't know the answer to that because I'm not a lawyer. Second question, if the federal government throws enough money at this town to make it seem like a lucrative deal, is the town willing to take the money as opposed to the will of the people as to whether or not we want this? So, in the circumstance that either the government forces us to do this, or that we decide to do this because it will be a financial boon to the community, can we, in some way, provide some oversight and some protections for the human beings who will be detained in that facility to maintain their due process rights, to retain their civil rights, to remain their human dignity rights? And can we protect the people that we detain here in Roxbury if we have to do this from harm? Because I cannot be a party to human rights violations. And I will stand with every fiber of my being against harming other humans. So those are my 3 questions. Do we have to do this? Will money make it logical? And if it happens, can we protect the detainees? Thank you.
And your answer to number 3 is no.
Hello, Diana May, 30 Whisperway East in Ledgewood. I am not a not in my backyard resident. Rather, I have seen the vile and quite frankly illegal treatment of these migrants over the last several months. In my sister's town of Naperville, Illinois, ICE officials targeted a group of roofers, kicking down their ladder to trap some on a roof while chasing others down a residential street with their guns drawn. I feel compelled to share that 5 out of the 6 roofers had valid work permits, but that of course was determined after the fact. I do not want masked ICE officials chasing people through neighborhoods. I do not want migrants detained in warehouses. I do not want news crews creating more traffic as they report on protests outside of an ICE detention center. These should not be occurring anywhere in our country, and I certainly don't want it in my town. When this period in time is looked back on, I would hope that Roxbury Township acted to stand firmly on the right side of history. While I understand that the township has not received any formal notification, I would like to see this town council act proactively to attempt to block any such plans as were reported in the Washington Post. I would expect opposition to be more effective when implemented proactively as opposed to reactively after more formal plans are announced. Senator Bucco, I read that you reached out to county officials, and I thank you for that. Now I ask that you utilize your contacts in Washington to advocate for our town and for more humane treatment of these migrants. Can you also please share with us now if and what can be done to oppose these tentative plans? Can the township fight back, or is the federal government able to override local municipalities? Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Teresa. I'm from Rahway, so not really from here, but I did go snowboarding at Mountain Creek over the weekend, which I didn't realize it was right here. So, anyway, yeah. So here to address what I think the majority of people here to address. I think the question around what, I guess, jurisdiction or what involvement the town has in allowing something like that to come, I think that's a valid, concern. Do you have any, I guess, influence on that? Hopefully you do, because if you do, then I do think it's like a no-brainer to not allow something like that to come. People don't feel safe with something like that around. That's just common sense, right? Families, people walking around. You don't want agents walking around your neighborhood. Nobody likes that. It's even just the perception of it's going to make your town look unsafe, then people are not going to move in. Investment is not going to come in. So, there's that. There is the moral point, obviously, too. We know that the way that this department is working in a way that's not fair to human beings. So that's a huge problem, right? You're allowing an agency to continue doing basically whatever they want without due process. We know that as a fact. That's indisputable. And then I would say also this idea about using a warehouse. I don't understand the efficiency of that also, if we want to talk about that. To make a warehouse be able to have human services in a way that is safe, the amount of time it would take to change everything in the warehouse, right? Because that's not designed to actually have human beings have services there. I don't think that there's enough time to really turn that around. We know that Delaney Hall in Newark, for instance, opened without permits. To this day, they do not have permits. Right. What business operates without permits? Like, that makes no sense, right? It's just common sense. Even forget morality, it's just common sense. You can't operate a business without permits, and that's what this agency does. So please think about those kind of grounded things. And the safety thing. People don't want this. They don't do anything for the community in a productive way. Let's focus on putting in more schools or providing mental health services. So.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Luisa Lestrada. I live in 615 East Vale Road here in Linden. I just moved from Norristown. I used to live in Norristown for many years. And I'm here because I'm very concerned about what I heard, that they want to bring ICE jail to the township. I think I live in a great place. I think this is very, very nice township. I'm a single mother of 3 children, and I'm an immigrant myself. I moved here around 37 years ago, and I can tell you firsthand how hard it is to succeed in this country and how much we have to work for it. I just bought my house 3 years ago, and I've been working my butt off to buy my house. I don't want to see I don't want to see my people and other people, because I'm Hispanic. I'm originally from Mexico, but I've seen outrageous things happening to immigrants. I don't believe that what other people said about immigrants. Not everybody is bad. Not everybody is criminals. I know that we could find that on every ethnicity, but not everybody who comes here it's like that. So I wouldn't like to see a jail here. So I will appreciate transparency from you guys, and if you can keep us informed about what is going on. But I don't think that they need to force us to do something that it's really bad, because they're not only taking criminals, they take in everybody without hesitating. If they take in pregnant women, children, sick people, they don't care. They just don't care. So I'll appreciate that. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Thank you all for the opportunity to speak here tonight. My name is Corey Herbig. My address is 2 Cayuga Avenue in Lake Hiawatha, which is part of Parsippany. Parsippany, in case you don't know, is about a third immigrant. And I want this council to keep in mind that your decisions regarding an ICE facility in Roxbury will have a pretty dramatic impact on surrounding communities as well. So I just wanted to say that up front. Aside from the obvious ethical concerns around warehousing human beings and the disturbing reminiscence to concentration camps, there are serious public safety concerns that this town should consider. Is the town prepared to handle thousands of people and the waste that would ensue from them being warehoused from a sanitation perspective? Is the town prepared for the emergency services that would be needed to handle such a facility? There were 12 emergency calls in 11 weeks at Delaney Hall recently. Is Roxbury Emergency Services prepared to handle that without diverting critical emergency services away from its current residents? Is the town prepared to handle protest management? Because you can tell from the turnout here tonight that there will undoubtedly be protests at any proposed or operating site warehousing human beings in this town. So is Roxbury prepared for the management of those protests, along with the national media attention that will befall the town if this facility comes here? There was a death at Delaney Hall earlier this month, along with consistent reporting of human rights violations at ICE facilities around the country and blatant disregard for due process for months now. I urge you, as council members, as the mayor of this town, to use every single tool in your local toolbox to make sure that this facility does not be established in the town of Roxbury. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Megan Dre. She emailed all of you today, so hello again. I'm at 10 Hemlock Lane in Flanders, New Jersey, which is Roxbury. I just want to pose one more question, similar to what other people have asked, not looking for an answer now. But not so much what about the safety of the people in this facility. Obviously I worry about that, but my question is about what about the safety of anyone who has brown skin in our town? And I don't want to say it like that, but that's the way. I don't want people scared to walk their dogs. I don't want people scared to bring their kids to school. I don't want to see, I'm gonna cry. I have 3 little kids in this town. I don't want to see ICE immigration at their school. I don't want to see it at Horseshoe Lake. I don't want to see it in the playgrounds. I don't want to see it in my stores. There are people in this community, whether they're legal or not, and a lot of them are here legally, based on the color of their skin, they're not going to be safe. I don't want to live in a community where people aren't safe and my kids' friends aren't safe. And that is the one thing I wanted to bring to everyone else's attention. How do we keep the people in this community who are already here safe? Thank you.
After you, please.
You're probably going to be better than me.
Okay.
Honorable Mayor, Honorable Council, State Senator, thank you for your time. My name is Guy Citron. I'm raised in Morris County, but I currently live out in Hunterdon and Tewksbury. and I have some actually good news to share. Kareem Daoud, who was held for the past 9 months, a resident of Flemington for the past 20 years, has actually just been let free. It begs the question, then, what was he doing there for 9 months? And not just in like some kind of a, normal jail, in like a normal law enforcement situation, but to the point of the crowd that's speaking to you tonight, no access to medical, limited access to family, maybe no access to a toilet at times. I mean, I could go on, right? All the while, a wife at home who's dealing with cancer, children who are dealing with medical issues as well. If this facility, this warehouse is going to hold thousands of people and process thousands of people, are you prepared to answer that legal question to the order of magnitude in the thousands? It truly seems like that's where we're going, not just as a country, but now on like a township level. So I ask you to really think deeply about what you're getting yourselves into here. And I completely understand that, you weren't involved, and you're reaching out, you're trying to understand the situation, you're gathering information. I completely respect that, but I go to land use board meetings like it's like I'm watching television. I go all the time, and I hear about home rule and the MLUL like it's like it's Monday football or Sunday football, right? So you guys have to have some kind of a say in this. I have to believe that, because that's what I see constantly. So please do your best. We want to be on your side. We all want to be on the right side of history. Please help.
Hi, my name is Sierra Wilson. I live in Bud Lake in the Village Green Apartments. So basically your neighbor. I used to live in Stanhope, so also basically your neighbor. And I came here today because this is not just a Roxbury issue. This is an issue that's going to affect all of New Jersey, possibly Pennsylvania, New York, and a ton of other locations. And I, like you, I'm a government employee, so I hear things late, and I hear things through the media like you all do. So I understand that there's no statement or no news at this time other than what we all read on the Washington Post. But I come here today just to remind everyone and to remind you all, the councilman and the mayor, that this is your responsibility to make a statement against this, against the inhumane and downright illegal actions that are being So I understand that the council at this time does not have a statement other than what was presented, but each of you have a responsibility to protect your constituents, regardless of their skin color, regardless of their country of origin. A lot of people do come here legally and illegally, and they are still paying taxes. They are still shopping at local businesses. They are still paying rent or mortgages in your town. These are your neighbors. These are your constituents. These are your friends, your relatives. These are not just what the media and what the administration is painting them as. These are your friends. These are your neighbors. These are people, human beings. And so I think it is your responsibility, not just as councilmen and women and the mayor, to make a statement on behalf of the county, but yourselves individually. So I would really respect and expect for you all to do as much as you possibly can, meeting with Congress, writing letters to Congress, anything you could possibly do to prevent this from happening, because this is just unethical, immoral, and as many people have presented today, illogical. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Quashina Williams, longtime resident of Hopatcong, New Jersey, right here at the border. I raised my kids here, been here quite a long time. I, like most of the people, read the same article about this facility. Given the conditions at Delaney Hall and the concerns there, a lot of people don't know this, but my ex-husband is a green card holder from Great Britain, right? I'm a black woman, but very ambiguous, right? Green eyes. I probably look Puerto Rican, Dominican, but I'm a black woman. We have a lot of kids from Hopatcong, right, in this school district. So it's important for me to come here tonight, you know, to bring awareness to you guys about harassing these people. I don't, as a black woman, we get pulled over enough. My husband being a black man from Great Britain, or ex-husband, but from Great Britain, I don't want him harassed. I don't want him locked up in a facility. I don't want my kids who've been raised in this community for 25 years to worry about their father, who lives right here in Netcong, being locked up. It's a big fear. He doesn't even leave the house anymore for fear of being pulled over and harassed. I can't even imagine what the kids are going to have to deal with in the school system. That's not something that I want here in my community. That's not something that I want around my friends and my family that I've lived around for years. They are good, upstanding citizens. They hold jobs. They contribute to the community. I can't even imagine the fear level of bringing it here. We've got so many other issues that we can deal with. This is not something that we want. You know, my kids went to St. Therese. There's kids at St. Therese. Are they going to come in there and harass those kids and those families?
Wow.
I implore you to please reconsider. I don't know what power you guys have, but I'm sure it's more than me as a simple resident of this community to stop this. Pass a vote, do whatever you need to do.
Right.
But don't let this happen to the people that you guys live around with, that I live around, that we all live around. So, and that's all I really have to say. I didn't really have a great speech or anything like that.
Hello, my name is Julie Moreno. I grew up in Morris County, but I live in Newark. I am the New Jersey State Captain of American Families United. We are U.S. citizens with undocumented spouses. I've been married to my spouse almost 9 years in January, and he self-deported 2 months ago. He has to be outside the country 10 years before he can apply again. But that aside, we are seeing this government take people who are in status and put them out of status. This has nothing to do with law and order at all. This is racist, and it's also about making money. Now, I'm sure some people may, I didn't get here as early as some people, so I know some already contributed, but the article, the Washington Post article, the quote that was given by Ted Lyons was in regard to these hubs, and this one, Roxbury's proposed location. We need to get better at treating this like a business, Acting Director Ted M. Lyons of ICE said, according to the Arizona Mirror. The administration's goal, he said, was to deport immigrants as efficiently as Amazon moves packages. Like crime, but with human beings. This is what we're talking about. This is completely inhumane. We are seeing this get worse and worse and worse every day. This is going to be on record because we had, in World War II, concentration camps here. So we can't say we don't know what's coming. We have a choice right now on how we're going to act in this state. We know that this is proposed, and whether they've come to you or not, I'm asking you to please go to the U.S. government, go to ICE, go to DHS, and ask them about it. And tell them that we don't want this here, and we are going to show up. In Chicago, where they've recently had a big immigration crackdown, they arrested, I believe it was over 4,500 people, 1.5%, less than 1.5 had criminal histories.
the racial profiling, which has now been legalized by the Supreme Court, we are seeing reports over and over again, and in Fairview, New Jersey, where ICE is riding up and down the street, stopping at bus stops. Excuse me, to detain people. So, nowhere along what is happening today are we seeing anything that looks like law and order. None of this has to do with criminals being detained, because we're actually seeing ICE and DHS take resources away from violent criminals to have these patrols out on the street. 350,000 U.S. citizens live in mixed status families. This is not just groups of people that we think are not associated with us or that live there and do that thing. This is New Jersey. A quarter of our population are immigrants. 500,000 at least undocumented. They work, they contribute, they are part of this state. Where I live, I'm sorry, I'm probably running over, I'll wrap up right now, but where I live in Newark, you cannot walk down the street and know who's an immigrant and who's not. You cannot tell. So when they come to New Jersey, and they will come, we need to do something to push back, because we cannot allow this to happen. Not only if you don't care about the human rights violations, this is going to crumble our state. Personally, the impact that it has on me to know every day, oh, I'm driving around, I'm going to go home, he's not going to be there. Every day it's like a punch in the stomach on what it's done to me personally and my family. And now we're going to see 350,000 other U.S. citizen residents in New Jersey get ripped apart as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Jackie Zapata, and I'm a Roxbury resident. I live in Sucasana. So I just want to hear the same course just talk about against this proposal or this idea of having a detention facility here in Roxbury. I just want to say, first of all, I know that in January and February, when our community fear increased, I know that the Roxbury School District hosted a Know Your Rights training at the Roxbury Library. And I was very surprised, and I commended the school district for doing that, because I know there are other school districts in this area who have not been willing to open their doors to do that. And having this kind of facility here would really just bring fear into our community. We know, and facts have shown that where these facilities exist, it's just easier to pick up community members and put them in these facilities. I've grown up in Morris County my whole life. I've been living in Roxbury for the last 4 years. I take my son to the Roxbury Library, and we walk around, we see these ESL classes going on, and just the diversity that now Roxbury has, and these facilities would really just take that away from our community. They would just instill fear here in Roxbury. So, I know that although the articles say that the town hasn't formally heard about this, I hope that when you do get that phone call, when you do see that attractive offer to have a facility here, you remember your constituents, you remember myself, a Roxbury resident, a daughter of formerly undocumented immigrants, saying that we don't stand for this. Roxbury should not have these facilities here because of what they stand for, because of how inhumane they are. And I know you have all heard of it. I'm sure, I just got here, I'm sure you all have heard about the death at Delaney Hall, but we don't want this here in Roxbury. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Adam McGovern. I live at 87 St. John's Avenue in Mount Tabor, which is part of Parsippany. Not a resident here, so I thank you for your welcome. And I think that that really needs to be extended to all the people within the bounds of this town. Like Corey was saying, I'm in a town that is over 30% immigrant. It's South Asian for the most part, and that is the group that is the second biggest population of undocumented folks. There's no way that if this facility gets built, there aren't going to be thugs roaming the street in masks, unaccountable, indiscriminate in my town, and destroying the economy and the fabric of our community. So I really need you to consider that. Now, I believe that you have heard nothing from the federal government, and I think that gives you a good preview of the level of respect that you can expect from this federal government. And the level of regard that they will have for human life. A speaker before me mentioned that they have literally stated human trafficking as their business model and their policy. So there is no, to the point of somebody else's question, there is no protecting the people who disappear into this gulag, and the only protection is going to come beforehand. So I hope that you will be proactive. If they didn't tell you anything, you have to tell them where you stand, what you stand for, who you're representing, and who you really are. We've talked about the costs, the extra wastewater, the utilities. I'd also like to consider the liability. At the beginning of this year, New York paid out $92 million in wrongful detention claims, and that was from Obama. So if that was during him, imagine what you're going to be paying out for these guys who smash car windows, single moms where there's a baby in the back seat. It's going to be a nightmare and it could bankrupt you. But what we really need to consider is the cost to our souls in this life, at the ballot box, and in the next. So I hope that you will keep that in mind, that it will keep you up at night, and that you will act accordingly so that we can all sleep easier. Thanks.
Good evening, honorable members of the Township of Roxbury and Senator Walker. I've been a resident of the town for more than 20 years. I pay taxes here.
State your name and address for the record.
Adriana Medina, and I live in 90 Drake Lane, Letchwood. My first upbringing in the American traditional values came from my father-in-law, who fought in Normandy, almost lost his life there, for the liberation of France. He will die again to see what is happening to this country. Not to the people, but to the values of these people. Every single one of you that are allowing the travesty of the values of freedom and liberty to be embroiled on the losing of the civil rights of human beings. This should not even be an issue whether we want a detention center for human beings or not. Your conscience, every single one of you were raised in those values. You are older than me. All of you are older than me. I learned that from a wonderful, patriotic human being who was willing to give his life for this country when he was just a teenager. I have a teenager now. And his values are of this town. His values are out of this country. Why are we allowing this to happen to our country? Why? I know conscience. Your conscience shouldn't be for sale. Your values shouldn't be for sale. There are people that we know out there going with masks, breaking people's dreams, breaking their promise to the land. For what? I tell you for what? $50,000 money is going to buy your values.
Ms. Medina, I need you to wrap it up, please.
I love that you all are here without a mask, facing your representatives. All the people that love you, we all love you. We all have had you supporting us. You and you and you. We have seen you all the time. We love you, all of you. We want to continue supporting you. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Veronica Fernandez. I'm at 157 Bartley Road over in Long Valley, Morris County. And thank you for doing this tonight and listening to all of us. I'm sitting here and I'm listening, and behind you I see the logo of the canoe, the teepee, and the little fire of what this land looked like at one time. And then I sat here and I evolved it in my mind, and I'm thinking, are you going to change it to a detention center with like ICE parading immigrants up to that? You know, like, that's beautiful as it is. And I think of how we came here. All of us are immigrants one way or another, and it's just that we, you know, we're the typical white, generic immigrant who came legally. We didn't come legally initially. We made the laws that made it legal. Reminds me of Anne Frank. Anne Frank wasn't, you know, protecting her was not legal. And these are people, these are humans, and it is just by chance that we are in this spot and they are in that spot. It was just fate, the cards, whatever, I don't know. I know people who are undocumented and they're good, decent, honest people. And I know they're terrified. And I look at that picture and I just feel, oh my God, could you imagine if we were treated the way that we're treating people? If we were not allowed to come here, if our ancestors were turned back. And I just hope that you have some conscience. I know you have conscience. I don't mean to insult you. I know you have conscience, but to be on the right side of things. An election have consequences, and here we are now, and this is not where we want to be, and I don't think that's where you want to be either. So please just take it to heart and look at people. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Susan Starikoff. I live in Kenville. Look at your nameplates. Bucco, Murphy, Hall, Albrecht, Crowley, Patillo, Riley, DeFilippo, Carey, Reed. Your families all came from other places. And as people prior to me have indicated, we made those laws after we came here. In 1909, my family came here from what was then Imperial Russia, what's now known as Ukraine. They were escaping the pogroms, and they found a better life here. In World War II, my great uncle went back to Europe to fight, and he was killed there. He was guarding Nazis. He was guarding Nazis when he was killed. Okay? A bomb hit the building that they were holding the Nazis in. Think about that. So when I hear about the fact that people are going to be swept up, I know that people who were related to me who were still in Kiev and other parts of Ukraine and were either killed there or shipped to the concentration camps, they all went through processing centers. Whether those processing centers are killing people or not, they're part of that system. They were part of that system. And what we're looking at with deaths in the detention centers here, it makes the people who are doing it no better than the Nazis, okay? I don't want to be part of that morally or in any other way. When my people said never again, they didn't just mean the Jewish people. They meant anyone, anywhere. So I know that you don't have the information yet, but I hope that you will stand up against it when that time comes, if it comes. Thank you.
I'm sorry, we're only allowed one per session.
Let's look on the ordinance.
You are correct, thank you, ma'am. I'm trying to be respectful of everybody's
That's
time.
okay. I'm finishing my 8th year on town council in Wyndham, so I
Anytime
know
you
rules.
want to come back and talk, you come back.
And please come to one of my meetings. Anyway, I'll introduce myself again. I'm Molly Duarte, 22 Brockton Drive in Wyndham Township. And I didn't see anybody else coming up, so I just wanted to add an additional comment. So I'm actually a first-generation American. My folks came here from the Dominican Republic, seeking a better life for their family, and we all got that. You know, God bless my parents. I've had a great life here and raising my kids here, and as have my siblings as well. We've all been successful, knock on wood. When you get elected to whether it's a township committee or state assembly or what have you, you don't know what's coming, right? I remember when I first got elected, and it was an upset victory, so I really didn't think I was going to win. But I remember waking up the next day and you know, getting my coffee and thinking, what the blank now? What do I do now? And you just don't know what's going to come down the pike. You have no idea, right? And so you just need to be prepared and do your homework and talk to people and listen to your constituents. And I often get asked by folks nowadays, like, who should I vote for? Who should I support? At all different levels, even school board, believe it or not. And, you know, we talk about issues, but one thing I always reinforce to anyone who asks me is, it's about character. You know, at the end of the day, it's about character, because you don't know what you're going to have to deal with. And you want people with integrity, with character, who have strong values you share, and who are courageous enough to do the right thing. And I can tell you, it's not always easy. I know that firsthand. It is not always easy to take a vote that maybe your colleagues don't agree with, to support something that maybe not everybody supports. Go out on that limb. I've been out there and watch it get sawed off. But it's important to stick with your values and your character. And I often think back to, you know, when I first got sworn in and my son holding the Bible, you know, the family Bible, and I have that photo. It's in my head, but I also have the photo, and the look on his face and how proud he was of me. So think about that as you move forward. I want to give you a lot of credit for, you know, opening it up to the public, because I know your agenda originally did not have open to the public. So I commend you for doing that and for listening to everybody this evening, whether from the community or from out of town. This will affect all of our Morris County. You know, I live 9 miles up the road. Like I said, I'm here quite a bit to go shopping. And so it's going to affect us. It's going to also affect neighborhoods and the fear that people have. And business people. There was just an incident in Chester where a local beloved business person was picked up and deported. And then his whole family decided to go back to their country because they wanted to be with him. We're living in tough times, but I actually trust that all of you are going to do the right thing. I really do. I can just see that. I see that in your eyes, and I see that in the reactions that you've had this evening. I really think you're going to. We believe in home rule in New Jersey, right? Let's stand up for that, and let's stand up for our values. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Kathy O'Leary. I'm the New Jersey Region Coordinator for Pax Christi USA. We represent the International Catholic Peace Movement in the United States. We are also, I live in Long Hill Township. Our organization is part of probably 30 organizations that are currently vigiling outside of Delaney Hall. We've been there since the end of April. Every single day. We are there now not just to protest the facility, we are there now to provide services for the people who are coming to visit their loved ones. The people who are coming to visit their loved ones, these are the exact people that you want as your neighbors, as your citizens. The love that they have for the people who are detained inside is something you really have to witness. And I invite you all to come to Delaney Hall during visiting hours if you want to see what will happen if a detention facility comes to your town. People will stand literally on a metal fence topped with concertina wire during a thunder and lightning storm because they are afraid if they get off of a line, they will not get in to see their loved one. They might only get in to see their loved one for 15 minutes, but they will stand there for 7 or more hours in the blazing hot sun when it was 100 degrees out. And currently right now, as we speak, there's visiting hours at Delaney Hall, and we have volunteers there providing hot coffee and hot chocolate, blankets, mittens, because people are waiting outside. Those people include elderly people, they include children, they include babies, they include disabled children. This is a horror show. This is a disaster. This is what will be coming here. Please do not kid yourselves. It will not be different. The person who died in Delaney Hall, his name was Gene Wilson Briz. We don't know how he died. His family doesn't know how he died. Our volunteers were there that night, and we watched as the facility prioritized a transport van of people that they were sending to a faraway place, either to be deported or to a detention facility somewhere else, over bringing the ambulance in to provide care to Mr. Burtis. That is what you have. You have an opportunity now. The chances are that the federal government is not going to do this themselves, that they're going to contract this out to an independent contractor. That independent contractor will be subject to your zoning laws. You have an opportunity now to make private prisons, to make ICE detention facilities an unpermitted use. And I suggest that you speak with the Attorney General and the Solicitor General, because they have briefed extensively and researched extensively what local governments can do in terms of oversight. Once that facility is built, and I'll answer that, a couple people who've asked that question before, once that facility is built, you have absolutely no oversight over it. None. Not anything.
My name is Kathy Ritchie. I live at 4 Lindbergh Lane in Succothsona. I have nothing prepared tonight, but I just wanted to say I used to work for Habitat for Humanity, and I was there when we built the project on Main Street. We've done such great things here with Habitat in Roxbury Township. I'm a proud citizen of Roxbury Township, and when I heard this news, I felt compelled to come here tonight with some of my neighbors to express my absolute heartbreak and distress about this. I'm not going to get into all my concerns about the politics right now in our country, but I think it would be a stain on our township. It would be a stain on the county and the community. We need to live together without fear and in safety, all of our neighbors, without being afraid of who could be around the corner to haul us away. And that's all I have to say.
Hello, I'm Terry Seuss. I live in Union, New Jersey, and I drove up here today because I heard about this. I read the article, and I've been down at Delaney Hall since before it opened. And that movement has grown to be hundreds of people from across the United States. And when I drove into your parking lot tonight, I was like, what's their issue? And then I found out everybody is here for the ICE jail, you know, which is tremendous and a testament to the heart of New Jersey, really. And if you all are elected officials and want to do something great, you can pass some initiative or some referendum or some law tonight that says you don't welcome an ICE jail here. You know, let's get that on the record. Delaney Hall is kind of ground zero for the ICE arrests and detentions and deportation machine that's being put into place. Your town is kind of ground zero too, because this is the very first place where that big beautiful bill where they passed billions of dollars for ICE agents, the total amount is $172 billion for more ICE agents, and of that, $42 billion for more ICE jails. So this is no joke, and they are moving. And they plan not only to put 1,500 people here in Roxbury, they plan to put 5,000 people, 10,000 people at 5 other locations. Let that sink in. This is a gulag. This is grotesque. And if we don't stand up and start saying now, we will not be able to say anything in 5 years. Now is the time for people to be speaking up about this. Now is the time. So I really thank you for having this meeting, but more, I thank all the people who are filling this room. You all are tremendous, and we need you down at Delaney Hall. We're there every day. We need more people there every day. We're called Eyes on ICE. What we do is watch. We watch them. We listen to the families who are going to visit. We listen to what the detainees are going through. The stories would appall you. The lack of medical care, the danger to people for being in that facility. Come down, come and see Delaney Hall. And then, you know, pass some powerful, powerful local legislation that says you do not want that in your town. We do not want that in New Jersey. In fact, we are going to close Delaney Hall. Delaney Hall needs to be closed immediately, sooner rather than later. Not in 3 years, not in 5 years, not in the 15-year contract that the private Geo Group has to collect $1 billion there. No, not in 15 years. This facility needs to be closed. The medical care is abominable, the food is abominable, the guards' treatment is abominable, and it is a horrible place for people. And the people who are locked up there, 90% of them, I would say, maybe 70%, 80%. However, they're going through their logical immigration process. And they're picked up at ICE check-ins. In fact, in one case, ICE called the family and said, you know, your check-in is not until next year, but you can come early. Yeah, they came early and they were arrested. They're in jail. So you have a big job to do. Don't take it lightly. And thank you for listening.
All right, I'm going to close public now. One more.
Good evening, my name is Stuart Seidenstricker. I live at 34 Ridgeville Avenue, Madison, New Jersey. And I was gonna come, but my daughter couldn't come, say, Daddy, go do us over there. So I'm a member of Win the Spirits. The organization has been around for 25 years, and we have been working on changing the conversation of immigration, not to where we are now, but even where we were before wasn't good. So I guess everybody spoke about everything that we have to talk about it. I would just urge you to be the first town, the first township of Roxbury to put in paper that you don't want ICE here. That's, if we all did that, ICE would have gone. Yeah. This is an institution that should have been gone a long time ago. A long time ago. And the reason that because we didn't do what we had to do in the Obama time, the Clinton time, all that kind of time, we're dealing with now. Now's the time to get rid of it. Okay? Using masks and doing this kind of stuff is totally absurd. Anyone in the right set of minds would say, how can that be? But that's what we are. So I urge you to do what I'm hoping you're going to do, which is say, we don't want to hear, and that trickle effect goes around the whole New Jersey, and hopefully the whole country says, you all got to stop with this. And by the way, I'm an immigrant, and I was undocumented too, even though I'm not black. Okay? So I had a few privileges when I was around. But for 7 years, I was scared of being stopped because I could have been detained and being put in one of these boxes back then. And now 40 years here, I work for the federal government, believe it or not. Okay, so of course I'm a citizen. My daughter got up when she was a little kid, we were citizens already, and she was scared, are you going to be taken away? Because we were going around on those other years that we thought were bad, but we're better than this. And she was scared if her parents were going to be deported. Her mother from Colombia was undocumented, her father from Brazil was undocumented. So this is something that it doesn't stay with the skin of your color. It's a nightmare. And I suppose that we can ask you, even though you are not my representative in my town, but you represent me because I live in New Jersey. And if this facility comes here, I'm affected. So make this the step of saying that you don't support this, and I'll work on my town, Madison, to make sure they do that too. Thank you.
My name is Alex. I lost my voice. I'm a little sick this mask. My name is Alexander Stevenson. I'm from 40 Mountain View in Arlington, New Jersey. I grew up in Sussex County. I moved to Morris County. This is not us. We don't want this here. Please. I am second generation American. My father was born in Germany, a Russian whose father was in concentration camp because that was the world back then. My father grew up in a refugee camp, moved to America 13, served the army. My uncle served the army. My mother, Puerto Rican, colonized. I have no home in this government's eyes. I'm a piece of garbage in the ocean, and I'm a Russian descent, and then they offer to take away our status. It's terrifying what they're doing. They are terrifying people who are so fortunate and privileged like me, who are white passing, and you cannot see my descent. And we're frightened. And there are people out there hiding, and they have the paperwork and the right to be here, and they don't want to be bullied. And they should have no reason to fear. We don't want this here. We are better than this. We care for one another. Jersey cares, I thought that the representation of the county, and I thought that the people were here to take care of one another. Isn't that what government's supposed to do? Aren't we here to be community? What are you thinking? To attack and to lock people up? What is wrong with this thinking? It's sick and it's ruling us and it's so powerful and we feel so unheard. Please hear us. We could start the new year right and say not here. We are better than this. We are community and we're here to take care of one another. Those of us that are isolated, reach out for connection, and you're out there chasing people back in. What is wrong? We're better than this. Please don't allow this here.
All right, I'm going to close public. A motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Thank you, everyone.